This is a podCHRIST.
Hello, welcome to another episode of podCHRIST. Today we have a super introduction for you because of the guest and the host that we have today. I'm so excited. You let's just start the intro. Let's just start the program.
Blue.
Oh, let's start.
Happy
are we?
Studios are we?
Students
of Presbyterian Secondary School.
Onward we must trudge along to happy victory.
To victory, to victory. Our motto is a solid bulwark trudging us along. Illuminate to illuminate to, we there be much lumen. In the light, we shall see light. Illuminate to, we there be much lumen. For Christian training, we get training. Ensure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country and church. For Christian training, we get training. Ensure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country. Oh, come along and join us. Oh, come along and join us. Happy Studios are we?
Aren't you excited? I hope you guys are very excited. Today we had to start like this because myself, your host KK, and all my guests are blue magicians. We are from the land of the Oakland. We
Once
are
a blue,
Oaklanders.
forever blue.
Forever blue. We bleed blue.
Yeah.
We are all of that yes on this platform. I'm sure Kweku Selom, you already know.
Oh, yeah.
You've met him before, you've seen him. And we
They
also
see me,
have
they
with
know
us
me.
Prince. All of us were from the only school in this country.
In the
And
country
perhaps-
called Ghana. Just
and
one.
perhaps even in the whole of Africa, right? And we dare to say the whole world.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
welcome to another edition of podCHRIST, and today it is a host and guest Presec show. So please like, subscribe, and then comment. Oh, Dad, yes, we call you.
Yeah.
Charlie, follow.
And you know, there's one thing about Presec. Some other schools have, all of these other boys' schools, they have what they call girl schools. So maybe Boche, they'll say their girl school is this. But for us, other years, it is Presec and all other girls'
And
schools.
all other
That's why it is Prigis. We are the bay for the bayless. You understand?
Yeah.
So guys, please, this one I'm not part.
Oh, KK is married, so
This
he's
one
no
I'm not
longer
part.
the
So,
bay for the bayless or
guys,
the bull for
today-
the bullless.
Today we want to take you to another journey. We are going to talk about the xenophobic attack in South Africa. But before that, let's go to the You For Know segment. Today on You For Know, guys, what we want to talk about is, you know, when something tragic happens.
You
And
for know.
Now, I don't even know where the culture began. Now, instead of us going to help and assist, you rather see people taking videos and, you know, taking shots of those things. I don't know, but what do you think about such an instance? Where did this happen, and how should we manage something like that when we see something like this happening?
I think people now are compelled by the fact that they want the news to reach each and everyone wherever they are in the country. But then, for me personally, I think saving lives matters, and so you should try and salvage the situation before you think of sharing the news to other people.
Try and salvage the situation before you think of sharing the news. I know, Selom. Prince just said that, you know, we want to get the news out there. How can I be having my phone and then I'm taking the thing and then I'm trying to help you?
So that's the thing. The point for me is they don't care about. It's not about getting the news to reach others necessarily. They just think it is content. Everybody these days who has a smartphone and is on social media think they're a content creator. They want to share something for people to come and like and comment so that they have a certain increasing followers. That this guy there, Charlie in page, when you go,
every time there's anything new, he's the first to share it. So let's go and follow that guy. That's what it is. The media sensationalism. We're just too excited to want to share. And sometimes it is sad that sometimes it's a wild accident, Yeah. And it's not even maybe just when there's a case where somebody is hurt or injured. Sometimes a full tanker that is lying down.
Yeah.
And somebody has a
And
phone.
then we have
A phone that can explode
Yeah.
at any time. That can react with whatever it is around us at any time.
It's as though we are losing our humanity. It's as though we are losing our touch
Yeah.
with our fellow neighbors. So,
Yeah.
guys, today on the You For Know segment, we are trying to point us to the fact that when things like these happen, let's first remember that we are humans. Our first point of call, our first inclination is to try and salvage the situation, as Prince said. We should try and look at what is going on and then try and see how we can save the situation before we can talk about, taking
Wanting to
videos
share,
and
yeah.
content and all that. And even, sometimes the things that we are sharing, like you hear that somebody is dead,
Yeah.
and then you just go and put it out there on social media that somebody is dead,
It
and
gets-
then the family member finds out
On
Yeah.
social media.
on social
yeah.
media,
That's,
like you are
you
in
know.
town, you are going,
Then
and then
suddenly you just jump on the news.
you just
and,
jump
yeah.
on the news, and it can cause a lot of situations, cause a lot of problems. Guys, you for no say, Charlie, it's not your problem, it's not your beef. Your responsibility there is to help, not all this social media craze, the buzz and the effect. We are losing our humanity. Let's return to caring and sharing in that oneness and in that unity for one another. So guys, that's it for you on the You For Know segment today. So guys, that's it for the You For Know segment, which was proudly sponsored by Rusepep. As we always say, Numbinafa Sepel. They do drinks and pastries. As you can see, all these lovely things here for and from Rusepep. That's it for the You For Know segment.
The juice, is it just for decoration, or I can take mine right now?
no.
Oh, if you insist.
Okay.
You can have it.
insist.
Other
Yeah.
years we try to do our things some
see-
way,
you see
so
that thing, you see
by
that
the
thing.
rules,
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, but you can take it.
Oh,
It's for
okay.
us. It's for us. So,
Oh,
yes.
okay, all right.
Guys, so that's it for the You For Know segment. We want to have a conversation and people on the xenophobic attacks in South Africa. But first, we want to look at the word xenophobia. Where does it come from? What does it mean? And how has it even become a word today? So when xenophobia is a big word, when we say xenophobia, what does it mean? What is it? What are we talking about?
So they're praying, so now goes.
So,
Princess, what's the idea? So yes, guys, what is xenophobia? Where does it come from? What is this whole thing about?
So when you talk about xenophobia, we are simply talking about two different words, xeno and phobia, and it's arrives.
That there in you must come, Charlie. Charlie.
It arises from the fact that people become afraid of it's fear, just as the word phobia means. So people become afraid of other foreign nationals or people that they feel are not a part of them, and so this fear can sometimes generate to hostility or treating people unfairly.
Okay, so guys, you have learned something new on podCHRIST. Xenophobia is fear of foreign nationals.
Yeah.
So, what do you think causes this fear?
So I think one thing that runs through everywhere you see this word xenophobia being mentioned would be economic factors. It is one major reason why. In fact, there's just too much history, and just as you were introducing the show, you would have mentioned a few other like South Africa, the fact that our focus is on South Africa, but there are many other areas where these things would have happened or occurred. And because economics applies everywhere, in every other space, whether in Africa or in any other country, it is one thing, the underlying factor. It runs through everywhere there is any matter of xenophobic attack. And you usually come from, you're looking at economic factors like unemployment, where there's a limitation on housing, available housing, and all of that. As we speak, in Ghana, I think we have a housing deficit of over 1.2 million. So imagine that the regular Ghanaian does not have a place to sleep. And then you have other foreign nationals coming to join us, fighting over a space to sleep with us, And these are the things, some of the factors. If I don't have a job and another foreign national has come to join my country, and I think that they are the ones taking over, because we're having this conversation, I think I'm allowed to mention the likes of Togo. These days, you hear contractors and engineers who are in the housing space say that the Togolese are better than Ghanaians when it comes to housing and all of these other, construction or building projects. What it means is that if there's a Ghanaian who is also an equally good mason, there's a potential that because they are Ghanaian, they would pick the Togolese over the Ghanaian. Yeah. Does that not raise a certain, flag for me to start to feel as a Ghanaian that, Charlie, if this Togolese come and take our space and take over the little job we have, let me just, find a way to sack him. The likes of, what do you call them? These people are Abosokai, the spare parts dealers. They would have raised issues some time ago that Nigerians are taking over their market, they are not allowed, there's a law and all of that. So it's mainly an economic factor. And that is what.
Do you think that culture also plays in xenophobia? Perhaps the indigents are afraid that these foreigners are bringing a different culture. This is not us. This is not how we do our things. This is not. It doesn't look like us. Prince, I don't know what you think about that. Does culture play a part?
All right. So there's an element of cultural differences that may give rise to these xenophobic attacks. But studies have shown that most of the time, just like Brother Selom said, it's mainly economic factors. The poverty and inequality has made it very difficult for the people to get access to these services and the jobs.
So culture may play a part, but you think that mainly it is economic?
Yeah,
it's economic.
The means for survival.
But is that fear legitimate? Is that fear? Because how is it that the foreigner has been able to come to your country and then gotten a job, or else you, the indigent, are not getting a job?
It really is a legitimate issue to raise that economic factors would lead to people being afraid of their spaces being taken over by all of these other foreign nationals. It is a legitimate concern, and it's not a way of whitewashing xenophobic attacks, but the fact remains that when you want to find a job, okay, you do not know of all the vacancies around you. Sometimes.
So how is the foreigner the one that is able to come in and find the vacancies, and you, the indigent, you don't know the vacancies?
So let's do the numbers. Forget about knowing whether or not we know the vacancies. So let's say we're in a country where there are 10 people, okay? All of these 10 people are they are citizens of the country. 10 people. And then there are 10 job openings available. If 3 other foreign nationals join the country, that creates unemployment because the amount of job available does not match the total number of people who are now living in that space.
Yes. So I'm still on the question of the legitimacy, because if we are 10, there are 10 job openings. 3 other people have joined us, and so now there is unemployment. Are we saying that we getting the 7 and then foreigners getting the 3? Let's assume the foreigners get the 3. It is a cause for us to want to drive them away. It's a cause for us to want to push them away out of our country.
So I think that it's more of a middle ground, in the sense that the more people, the more it creates competition. But at the end of the day, in any part of the world, qualification or skill sets become the basis for getting the jobs. And so I don't think anybody is going to say that because I'm South African, even if I am not qualified, they should give the job to me. No, it's not done anywhere. But skill sets would first and foremost be looked at before they would look at whether maybe you're a national or not. But also, I think that it's not really about the jobs, but provision of services. If perhaps you are about 10 people and we are all providing this service, okay, to the nationals of the country, and we get 3 more foreigners to come and add to it, what it actually means is that now you have access to more. For example, if I'm selling goods, now it reduces competition, and so you have access to more goods. Now we can buy. Now if I use maybe a community, for example, there is just 2 shops there. If I go and maybe the shops are closed, I would have to go back home. If there's a foreign national maybe situated somewhere in the community and his or her shop is opened, I can get access to whatever I'm looking for. So I don't think necessarily it's because they are taking away their jobs, but it's because of some kind of entitlement.
So great. So I think I would like to side with you. It's more of an entitlement. And I want to find out from you guys, do you think that Ghana is also guilty of this xenophobic attacks that we are talking about? Because it's South Africa, and it's like Ghanaians are angry, we are upset. But have we not done this before? Like what we do to Nigerians. You know, there was a time when Nigerians sacked us, and we also sacked them, right? So, and even I think a year ago, we were talking about the fact that, as you mentioned, they were taking our jobs, and so they need to go back to their homes. Do you think that Ghana is also guilty of something like that?
We are all guilty as countries, and just like I mentioned, there are economic issues all over the world.
Then it means we shouldn't blame South Africa.
No,
why are we talking about South Africa?
So then? I think the problem hasn't necessarily been the fact that whether their concerns are legitimate, but the problem has been the fact that their reaction towards how they handle the competition between them and the foreign nationals. So, for example, in Ghana, we've experienced maybe Nigerians or other nationals trying to compete with us in certain jobs that are let's say for the indigenes, okay, or reserved for the indigenes.
Yes.
But we don't destroy their properties. We don't kill them.
We don't
set fire. We don't attack them. Yeah. So it's more about how we respond to these issues of fear and how we treat our foreigners in our country.
So for me, I think we must be clear in communicating that we've only tried to discuss or try to have the nuance around the conversation. Look at whether or not there's any legitimacy in the claim that the South Africans are making, but it does not mean we are validating their actions and how they have decided to manage the situations. Just like you've mentioned, sometime in 1969 thereabouts, if my memory serves me right.
Oh, you are on that day. Your memory will serve you, right?
Yes, exactly.
It will serve you.
Was it Buzia? Yeah, he would have decreed that all the Nigerian nationals at the time in the country should go back to their home. Later on in the 80s, around 82, 83, thereabouts,
Ghana must go.
Ghana must go came up. Nigerians asked Ghanaians to leave. And my mom was a victim of that situation. She tells me the story of how she narrowly escaped death. There was no car. It's not as though there was a means of transportation. So it's either you are leaving, finding your own way, whether you are walking from Nigeria to Ghana or not, nobody cares. Just get out of our country. And so it's a thing that runs across all other countries, not just in Africa alone. It happens all over the world. You know, there's a reason why there's a certain favorite white country that would put stern visa measures in place to prevent certain nationals from just entering their countries. And if you want to enter, it's like passing a cow through the eye of a needle before you get your visa approved. You are laughing because you've gotten your visa. So that usually is a general thing. And just as Prince also mentioned, there are policies, okay? There are laws of the countries that sets it clear that this particular job.
I like the where you have. I want to ask a question so that you put everything together.
Okay.
So then, can we say that these attacks and these xenophobic occurrences are also a function of the failure of leadership in the respective countries? Because we know that in Ghana here, there are certain jobs that are supposed to be the exclusive preserve of indigents, and foreigners are not supposed to be engaged in those trades.
Yeah.
So if we have a foreigner coming here and then engaging in that trade, who is supposed to ensure that first and foremost we even have the means to identify and know the foreigners we have in our country and where they live and what they are doing, and then ensure that they are doing the right things that they are supposed to do?
So the key word you mentioned is whether we have the means. In more formal countries where things are a lot more formalized, digitized, if you like, they're able to check some of these things properly. But if you come to our space in Africa, where a lot of our things, in Ghana, about 70% of the job we do is informal. So how then do you check these things over and over again? But the laws are there.
But how does somebody enter your country that you don't know? Then it means we are not safe in Ghana. Because if somebody can enter your country and you don't know who is entering, where they are going to, and what they are going to do,
it's a matter of national concern, whether or not we're able to beef up our borders, the security on our borders, so that we're able to check some of these things properly. But like I said, there's always a leeway around, there's a loop way around all of these things. And so it is a matter of how we're able to.
In fact, let me check. You people here, are you Ghanaians?
Oh yeah, we are Ghanaians for sure.
I
Yeah,
am Ghanaian.
100% Ghanaian.
Oh, I am partly German.
So you like this before we have to be beating you?
Well, Charlie, I beg you, you consider me. I beg you, for the sake of Christ. Yeah.
So then it means that one of the problems is the failure of leadership.
Yeah.
What else can we say has led to this xenophobic attacks or leads to xenophobic attacks?
Well, I can also mention ignorance, because there are lots of maybe spaces where it is allowed for a foreign national to occupy, but because we think that, I've heard somewhere that this one is a preserve of the Ghanaian, or is a preserve of the local person, the local national. So once this guy is a foreigner, I can go on and attack them, So sometimes we just don't know the law, and we misapply in an attempt to enforce the laws by ourselves. We misapply the laws and do what we are not even supposed to do.
So do you think that this thing that is happening in South Africa, do you think that the Ghanaians should also fight back? Or just get up and come to your home country?
It depends.
Or when they come and slap you, slap them back?
It depends on what type of Ghanaian you are. If you are a Ghanaian who is a non-believer.
Are there type of Ghanaians? We are Ghanaians.
Yeah, we're all Ghanaians, but some of us are Christians.
Okay.
Yes.
So what should be our approach?
Okay. So now we are moving into the phase of approaching the matter as a Christian.
No, how should we approach it as Ghanaians?
As Ghanaians, listen, as a social matter, there is a foreign minister. There are foreign policies. There are agreements between ourselves and other nationals or the other nations. There's what we call ECOWAS. There's what we call African Union. In fact, we would have heard of AFTA. If you don't know, you can go and check. I don't have the time to explain to you. You can go and check, Google it.
Yeah.
AFTA.
Free trade.
Yeah, free trade area. We are looking to, wipe away the borders that we see that are drawn, the imaginary borders that we see, and call ourselves a united front, So for me, what happened in South Africa actually is a step backward, not maybe 1, 2, or 3 steps backwards, in an attempt to put all of us together as a group of people. These things should not be happening, and it is not advisable. We cannot even advise ourselves that as Ghanaians we should retaliate.
So we shouldn't retaliate.
No,
we should be there and be killed, or we should pack our bags and come to our country.
So we should take advantage of the institutions, both political and social institutions that exist in the country like South Africa. I do not want to blame them so much because they've had that history of apartheid that destroyed their identity.
Prince, let me I don't want to hear this. Let me catch you here. Like, was it the apartheid? Was it the blacks that did it to them? Because you go in South Africa right now, and the whites actually are occupying the majority.
Yeah, so
of,
I was coming
positions.
to that. Yeah, I was coming to that.
So
you know, they
if
have
anybody should be attacked, should it not be?
Yeah, so,
let's say a white
so
that should
they
be
have
attacked.
experienced,
the point
they have
is,
experienced that thing of segregation.
But are they not the people who are even so because of the experience? Are they not the people who are supposed to even now? No, because I felt it, and so I'm not going to do same to my fellow.
So mind you, when we began, we mentioned that xenophobia stems out of fear.
It's an irrational fear.
it is. That's the definition of xenophobia.
Yeah.
Irrational.
Irrational
Yes.
fear.
And
Yeah, but
So
you
we
see,
shouldn't countenance
no, you see,
irrationality.
no, by your orientation sometimes have a major role on how you behave or respond to issues. You get me? Because I always ask myself, if you look at the videos and the things that are happening with respect to xenophobia, you realize that the white-skinned foreigner is not being attacked. So that brings me to the question that when the foreigner comes, then it becomes like if you have money, you're an investor. They see you as an investor.
Yeah.
But the other black nationals who are foreigners from other countries are seen as threats.
But is it
then
not
it means that
no, wait, hold on. Is it not a flawed assumption to think that the white is an investor, the black is a threat? Are we saying that the blacks don't have monies to go and invest, and so when we go there, we are just going to beg off their crumbs? Is that what we are saying? And then the white person that comes, look, what was that about? Please, this is not to any national or anything, but about 2 or 3 days ago, I went to Pizza Man and I saw this white lady also in the queue. You know, like also, and I thought that, hey, Charlie, Pizza Man, they say, yeah, Pizza Man, and I will swear, it means that person to is just like me now.
So I think,
so why do we think that whites are rich and blacks are poor?
No, it's because the data is there to show that those who are in the multinational companies in South Africa, majority of them are whites. And those who have set up the businesses and things in South Africa, majority of them are whites.
Those whites are not South Africans. They
are South Africans. But you see, the white people are not being targeted because they live in protected spaces. It's not because maybe the blacks are the ones who are supposed to be targeted.
Which means that the South African government has failed to provide security for the foreigners that rightly entered their countries. And so
yes and no. Yeah, yes and no. In the sense that
podCHRIST should take them on, or you personally.
We are starting.
I don't know if you make your producers understand.
We are starting something. So it's either we are sharing our view that the Ghanaian government should take them on and let them know that we are unhappy with what they are doing to our brothers and sisters out there, or everybody should go to bed.
No, I think the government has made strides in responding to these attacks, because first the foreign minister summoned the High Commissioner from South Africa to Ghana, and also they've put evacuation plans in place to bring those migrants who have been affected.
But the people that are engaged in these attacks are on video and we see them. Or it is not against the laws of South Africa for people to be doing that.
It is.
If it is not against the laws of South Africa,
no, it is.
So what is the South African government doing about prosecuting some of these people?
Well, I think that we cannot prejudice, what the South African government will do or what they would not do. If it was an attack against a South African, it is a crime. If it is an attack against a Togolese, it is a crime. If it is
my point is that the people are not hidden. The people are seen. We know them. We've seen them. At least one arrest, so that we know that this person has been arrested. And you see, it is different when it is happening to your locals, right? This has got international aspects as well. And so, Ghana, we have a culture where we want to protect visitors. We want to be kind to foreigners.
We're hospitable.
We are hospitable. So something that perhaps a foreigner would do and would excuse, if an indigent does, we go hard on the indigent.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where I'm coming from. And we are all Africans and we know that we have that kind of upbringing. So why is the state so many weeks after, nobody has been cautioned?
I think, like we would say, the wheels of justice grind slowly. It will take some time.
Are we waiting for someone to die before?
Well, I don't think that's what it is. People are already dying.
Yeah, because when you carefully look at these xenophobic attacks in South Africa, you realize that it has experienced about 3 major waves since 2008 throughout to 2019, and just this year we've also seen on the videos people at, and the data shows that for every major xenophobic attack, there are about triple the damage to lives and property. And so it means that we are not making headway, or the South African government has not tried enough to respond to the situation.
So just to bring the conversation home, what do we propose the Ghanaian government can do? And then from there we'll look at what the Christian should do.
And so for me, I think because of diplomatic relations, most of the times the government wants to use peaceful means to respond to situations like that. And so earlier on the previous month, the president called on the AU, of course, which both South Africa and Ghana happens to be a part of, happens to be a common body for us all. And so they called on AU to speak to the South African government to do something about the xenophobic attack going on in the country. I think that's a step in the right direction.
I also think that in having conversations like this, where it is not hidden, the event of it is not hidden somewhere, but it is in the news, everybody is talking about it, and we are all condemning the actions at large. It is one step forward to, if you like, bring a resolution around the matter. And just as Prince has also stated, it is now even more important that the South African government takes very serious steps and
I don't know about this, but have they made any statement to this?
I haven't seen.
Has the government made any statements condemning it in no uncertain terms?
I haven't seen anything like that.
I haven't seen them make any actionable steps, but they have responded to the xenophobic attacks. And also, there is this protest group called Operation Dudula or something like that, and they want the undocumented migrants to leave the country.
Which is fair.
Which is very fair. But you see, the government has given them a listening ear. But so that protest group was established somewhere in 2021, but I must say little has been done. I don't want to believe if it's because of bureaucratic procedures, but I think for an issue like xenophobic attack, it should be treated with that serious attention.
Okay. So what should be the Christians' approach to these attacks? Our foundation as Christians is love. Love for Christ, love for God, love for one another. Right. So what should be our approach to these attacks? And I want us to look at it from the South African side, the Ghanaian side, and generally the African side. So
I think on the South African side of things, you mean those who are inflicting the attacks, or you mean generally?
Generally, South Africans.
So as Christians, as South African Christians, and I think it's important to as well establish that our topic states that there's a large group of Christians in Africa and in South Africa and in Ghana as well. If you look at the numbers, in Africa we have about 41% who are Christians. Does not mean the remaining 59 are a particular religion. It's shared amongst all the other religions. So we're majority. If you go to South Africa, about 80%, which means
87%.
Right, which means 4 in every 5 South Africans you see are Christians. And that is wild. It means
so 4 in every 5 of the attackers are Christians.
Potentially. And if there are only 2 attackers, they are Christians. And that raises serious concern.
They may not be Christians, but they identify with the Christian faith.
They are Christian identifiers or identificators.
I like
they are friends of the church.
I like the fact that he says identify, which suggests that then there's a potential that we are Christians, but we only identify as Christians. It's a culture, but we do not practice what it means to be a Christian. We do not live on the foundation that Christ has laid.
So
that for me is what
how
it
should the
suggests.
South African Christian live or practice that Christianity that we are talking about in relation to these
There's
attacks?
a clear instance in the Bible, parable of the Good Samaritan. You know, I was thinking around it again. The fact that the parable had to focus on a Samaritan, and they were traveling a certain path. Is it Jerusalem, Jericho? Either way, and that area is not an area that is friendly to Samaritans.
Yeah.
It is, you know, and the fact that when Jesus was telling this parable, he mentioned the fact that there was a Jewish priest who came to pass, who is supposed to be, you know,
Your
bro,
brother.
like my
bro.
you get it. But the guy, the man just passed by him. But this was a Samaritan who didn't know this person who was lying down from anywhere. Clearly a foreign national, and maybe to an extent an enemy, because they know they so, you know. So, but we've learned from that person treated the wound of the injured national, poured oil, took care, sent the guy to the hospital and everything. And that is what we must be seen to practice as Ghanaian Christians, South African Christians, African Christians. You know, the Bible admonishes us to love one another, like he stated. It also tells us that we should love our enemies and pray for them. You know, and that brings me to where you mentioned as Ghanaians as well, or those who have suffered the attacks. Does that mean we should go back and go and attack them? No, pray for them. That's what Jesus says.
So we should show the care as was shown in the case of the Good Samaritan.
Exactly.
And we should also pray for them.
Exactly.
Finally, just so that we crown it, is there a place as Christians? Is there a place for the law in the things that we do? So I've prayed for you. I have shown you love. I've shown you care. But I still obey them. you go inside.
Yeah.
Is there a place for it as well?
There is.
As Christians?
There is. The Christianity and the practice of it does not sway us away from, you know, going by the laws that governs the space in which we live in. You know, as far as the law says so, we must find a way to make sure that we are helping enforce the laws of the country, of whatever space it is we find ourselves, and not necessarily just to do things our way, because there's a law, there's a place for the law, definitely, and then there's a place for our Christian faith as well. And I would share this example again, where they tested Jesus by asking him that, you know, the people of the country, the government is asking for taxes, you know, and then Jesus says, go and look at that fish. There's some money. I've kept some money in that sea bank, you know, so go and bring some money. Let's pay our tax. That is Jesus establishing that there's a place for the laws for sure, and then there's a place to practice Christian faith. That's said.
Is there something that we three here can do for our brothers and sisters in South Africa, the South Africans and the Ghanaians that are being attacked? Is there something that we three here can do?
I think it can come from the fact that we can engage in sensitization campaigns. Yeah, you know, social media has become a very powerful tool for disseminating information or educating the public. And so you can come up with hashtags and things like that.
Yeah,
too.
so in the sensitization campaigns, what message should be in those campaigns?
So we can look at it from a social perspective or the Christian perspective. When we are looking at it from the Christian perspective, then we can tell them about what Scripture says with respect to living in peace with one another. Then from the social perspective too, we need to understand that the people are not there to take away their jobs. The people are not there to take away what rightfully belongs to them, but the people are there to help contribute to their economy.
Say, please. Prince has said my answer.
Oh, yeah, I said your answer. Guys, this is podCHRIST. Thank you for being with us. Prince, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, my final words. And so I want to add the fact that, you know, the Bible admonishes us that we should treat foreigners as part of our own in Leviticus. Yeah, Leviticus 19. The Bible encourages us that we should treat them like they are natives of the place. But also, we shouldn't forget that it's not easy. It's not easy for us to deal with traditions and things that we have been oriented with throughout our life. And so we shouldn't expect that it's automatic that when you become Christians, we'll be able to strongly respond with love to our neighbors when we feel threatened by them. For example, when God revealed the vision to Peter, when he was supposed to go and pray for Cornelius, you realize that the sheets had uncleaned animals and other four-footed animals. God was the one speaking to Peter, but Peter rejected God's instruction, not once, not twice, but about 3 times. It helps us understand that it's not easy. Meanwhile, Peter had followed or walked with Jesus, had been filled with the Holy Spirit, but he wasn't easily, he couldn't easily give in the fact that he has to eat from something that God initially had considered unclean. So when we become Christians, does not mean that naturally we'll be able to demonstrate that love the scripture is expecting from us towards, but with time, as we study the word and yield to the Spirit, we'll be able to overcome these threats with love. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prince, for your last words. Thank you very much, Selom, for letting Prince say your answer.
Yeah, and said my last words as well.
Said your last words as
Really?
So, guys,
Great minds think alike.
this is
For
us.
sure.
That's true. Me, that was going to be my closing
Oh,
remarks.
wow.
Guys, so thank you very much. This has been podCHRIST. We came to you with these xenophobic attacks, and we are learning that these our brothers and sisters in South Africa, the fear is irrational. We are not there to take your jobs. We are not there to take the things that belong to you. We are also seeking greener pastures, as you also sometimes go to other places to see greener pastures.
Yeah.
If there are perhaps entities there that did not use the right means to get in, let us use the right means to get them out. The attacks won't help. Ghanaians here, let's create the awareness. Let's make them understand that this is not the right way to go. Let's pray for them as scripture has admonished us, and let's also get on the socials and find a way. But ultimately, our leaders, please make sure that you don't fail us. Make sure that you provide what it is that we need so that we all can live a comfortable life. That said, we cannot leave without concluding by saying, for Christian training we get
Ensure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country and church. For Christian training we get. Ensure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country. Oh, come along and join us. South Africans, come along and join us. Happy, studious are we.
It's a wrap. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
This is a podCHRIST. This is podCHRIST.